Hey everyone, it's Friday, October 31st, 2025. Happy Halloween, by the way. And I am making my video on my York trip. I know a lot of YouTubers have already made their York haul videos, but being in the Midwest and the fact that I flew and had to ship things back, my haul has taken a few days to get here, and the first items finally got here yesterday. I have one more item that's going to come in, but it'll be in sometime next week, and I'll make a addendum part to this video when that comes in. I did capture some footage of my York purchase that's still coming in at the Lower Susquehanna Valley Model Railroad Club, so I'll have a little bit to talk about with that and some footage. Without rambling too much, let's get right into it and see what York was all about this year. I was at York this year, Thursday, Friday, and part of Saturday for the show. I didn't know this at the time, but they had changed the hours that the show was going on, at least on Thursday. Thursday, it now starts at noon instead of 9. In October of 2026, they're going to move the show to a Friday, Saturday, Sunday with the same hours. I didn't take a ton of video footage on Thursday, but Thursday was my day to wander all the halls, and it was just so packed that it was kind of hard to get video footage of every single hall and everything that was going on. York this year was very heavily attended, probably the heaviest attendance that I've seen since I've started coming to York in 2022. I will apologize in advance. I didn't get any photos with any other YouTubers, but I talked to a lot of you at the show. Now there's about half a dozen halls at York. Each one is a large open building and usually has a bunch of sellers, either of used goods or new goods, as in the Orange Hall is considered. Thursday, I think I hit about 16,000 steps, so that gives you a sense of how big this fairground is and how much inventory there is at a show like this. I ended up staying till about 6 o'clock that night at the show, but the fun wasn't quite over yet. After the show on Thursday, I went to the Lower Susquehanna Valley Modular Railroad after dinner.
I'm working Sting and Shaq like a festival. And Sting's like fucking way to head. I'm still standing there. Oh shit.
Thursday night was a really great way to hang out with all the YouTube friends and all the people at the Lower Susquehanna Valley Modular Railroad Club. Just have a good time, eat a little food, and just hang out and chat and run trains. Now, Friday was an abbreviated day for me because I had a work commitment come up in the morning, but I did make it out to the show in the afternoon.
Lost and found items may be turned in at the registry. Running layout, choo-choo barn, automated York meat badge holders may be purchased.
By Friday afternoon, the show had settled down quite a bit, and a lot of the people that I knew had either gone on to do something else with their evening, or were just wandering around and done with their shopping. I did happen to buy something on Friday at the show, and I will be running it here at the Lower Susquehanna Valley Modular Railroaders on Friday night. By Friday evening, I was riding solo as most of my friends from the Kansas City and St. Louis area that had made it had already left on their way home. I happened to go back to the Susquehanna Valley Modular Railroad, and I brought my CPKC ES44 that I purchased at the show from Grisboski's. As you can see, the paint job on the locomotive turned out beautiful, and it turned out to be a smooth runner and hopefully a good puller. Now, for those of you familiar with the York format, historically Saturday has been the lightest attended portion of the show, and I found that was the case this time as well. Now, as for selfies and group photos, I didn't get a single group photo, but I did take this photo of Mike with his Great Northern Mallet that he purchased quasi-York. I did get a couple selfies, but that was about it. The biggest shout-outs I want to give are to my friend Darren and his crew from Kansas City and St. Louis for driving all the way out, to the Three Rails Four Dads, that is Mike, Art, Ray, and Dell, for hanging out with me and chatting and spending a good time together. Tattooed Trains as well, Zach at Joker's Trains, Eric of Eric's Trains and his wife, Peachy's Trains, Sid at Sid's Trains, and just a bunch of other people that I can't think of off the top of my head. But if you saw me, just feel free to drop a comment and tell me what you liked best about us hanging out and chatting. Though I wasn't able to make it this year, I wanted to thank Chris at Chris's Trains and Things for putting on the social media panel, as well as the guys of the Miniature Models podcast for putting on that Blue Nami panel. Now, I already discussed what I purchased at the Grzybowski's booth for York, but I wanted to talk about my other purchase, which I will count as a quasi-York purchase per art. If you were on Joker's live stream where I had talked about wanting to get this set, I finally pulled the trigger and got the Fast Fruit Express Legacy set by Lionel. I had been talking to Mike of Tattooed Trains. Yes, I know there's a lot of Mikes in this hobby, but we were talking about a set that I had been looking for to see if it was at York. The set was the Santa Fe Legacy 484 Northern Fast Fruit set. Now, I hadn't seen it at any of the halls, and I was lamenting to Mike that I hadn't seen it, and then I was looking online and saw it for a good price at one of the dealers that happened to be at York, and I purchased it there at the show just online. They didn't have the set with them at the show, but I did purchase it while at York, so it counts as a quasi-York purchase in my opinion. Now, I had initially passed up on this set when it was first cataloged, but I was kicking myself over it and wanting to get it later on, and I finally found it online at the show. The dealer also happened to have the add-on Vision Reefer set that goes with it, so they sold it to me at a very good price, and I couldn't pass up the deal. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Nicholas Smith Trains for their willingness to work with me, and for their great customer service and quick responsiveness with my purchase. Even though work commitments and other things cut my York experience just a little short this year, I still had an amazing time and had great memories and enjoyed just hanging out with everyone and chatting and seeing how the days went. I also want to give a huge shout out to the Lower Susquehanna Valley Modular Railroad Club for their willingness to open their doors and just give everybody a great experience and great hospitality for the whole entire York time. If you want to visit them, go to Columbia, PA, and it's in an old church where the Historical Society is. Now, I will say parking is a little bit of a mess getting into and out of the club, but there are resources available on Joker's Discord, and I believe the Miniature Models podcast Discord, so check that out if you're ever in the area. Once again, thank you for watching my video about the York Train Show in October of 2025. I had a really great time, and it was just awesome to get around everybody again and hang out and chat and catch up. If you like what you see, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, and hit that bell button if you want some notifications. I have a slurry of videos to continue to make, but this is one of the big ones for the fall. And I have a few more train shows this train season that I will try to get recorded as soon as those happen. Several pre-orders are also coming in this season, so I have a slurry of YouTube review videos to make as well. Thank you for watching.